You can do this one.
Of course.
Someone left a portrait.
I'm here, Grace. Najisha, she was so excited when I got the summons. We talked about this for months. Who we could help. Who was most deserving. She honestly believed we could come up with a wish that could make everything perfect. Thank you for choosing me. And thank you for letting me delay coming here. I want to be true to her memory, her wishes, her unlimited love for humanity. But my only wish, the only thought I have, is to have her back. I want her back.
There couldn't have actually been anything Grace could have done for her.
Grace allowed her to voice her grief.
Hey, the tube system is no longer accepting wishes. If anyone knows how to reach Keeper Everett, please let him know.
Keeper Everett.
It sounds like keepers were Spire caretakers.
When did Everett stay on this floor?
2955.
That's 20 years before this message was recorded.
So he stayed on after his visit and became a keeper? Why was there no record of that?
I would think answers lie at the other end of these vacuum tubes.
From what I can tell, the tube system runs through the central elevator shaft.
Logic? You gonna let us in, considering we know Everett was a keeper?
But do you know what a keeper is?
We'll need access to the elevator to learn more.
Ah, a classic paradox.
Logic.
Fine. If you're done snooping around, I will grant you access to the elevator.
Or you could uncover more canisters and learn more about the people who came here.
Reaching the beacon is the priority. You must move on.
Here you go.
Perfect.
Logic will open the way to the beacon. You must go to the elevator.
Hold your horses.
Mark Anthony here. Been moving around, keeping my head down. Won't be long before they start blaming us for schmutzing up the tubes.
Looks like Olympia Mon colors. I guess the team's old enough.
Why do you insist on defying me?
I'm starting to enjoy it.
I doubt you'll ever get this message, Grace. We've been waiting weeks now with... I hope Keeper Everett is okay. I've been told his sermons are wonderful. And I hope you will be able to deliver the word of grace again soon. Make things work. I'd like you to know that we still love you and think about you. Great comfort to our family over the years. We've all made them for us. With your wisdom, you are missed.
So Grace would receive wishes and then leave people with instruction in the form of sermons. Could that really be all there was to it?
Ideas are powerful. Perhaps just returning with a more enlightened perspective was enough to move society toward common goals.
Highly unlikely. Grace must have had some control over planetary infrastructure, if she was to have had the influence you suspect.
My wish? Oh, I'll tell you my wish. 10 years ago, we're on Venus at the Big Dome. Huge crowd. Olympia Mons favored 4-1, loses 5-1. 6 years ago, on Earth against South Union, loses 2-1. 2 years ago, South Union again, this time up north. I took the boys 3 months round trip. They go 90 minutes, no score. Extra time, no score. South Union takes it again in penalties. You want my wish, Gracie? The next World Cup is on Mars. I wish that Olympia faces South Union again and destroys them, like Space Me Out the Airlock humiliated. That would be a game. That's my wish. So how do I end this recording?
Olympia's still a crap team.
Perhaps Grace was rendered inactive by football hooligans.
Grace likely fostered sports as an alternative outlet for uncontrolled aggression. Of course people would come to her to share their passions.
You're looking pretty smug.
What's the pattern?
Another easy one. Light the 4 corners of the pad. You really didn't need my help for this one. It would be a common pattern when guessing symbols.
I have to give you something to do, right? Look at all the vacuum tubes. Must be one in every room in the settlement. Keepers must have been busy.
It's what Grace does with the wishes that should interest us. Did you like my little game?
You mean the game where you refused to help us?
I provided you with the opportunity to prove yourself. Is that not why you're here?
I'm an archaeologist. I'm here to do my job.
I don't think Addie enjoys having obstacles placed in the way of her goals.
We have arrived at our destination.
The Spire pilgrims must have gathered here. To listen to the Keeper's sermons, I guess.
People will return here once the beacon is restored. Flock and shepherd will be reunited.
Signs of conflict?
Or a strength contest?
Wish canisters.
These have never been used.
For recording wishes, maybe. They look pretty banged up. Seems to be holding my weight. This explains all the canisters lying around.
Must have been fun. It would have been chaos.
There was clearly a lot of anger directed toward the Keeper.
So the Keeper must have stood here, addressed the visitors, gave his sermons. You imagine having the solar system coming to you for answers?
The Keeper was merely a vessel for the word of grace.
Then why not have Grace address them?
There is sometimes more power in what is imagined than in what is seen.
Looks like people camped out here. Pilgrims were building fires. Why would they do that? Death to Everett. Pretty clear who they blamed. It must have been written with charcoal from the fires. This must be an attempted barricade. I'm guessing there was a lengthy siege. So, when Grace shut down, the Pilgrims blamed the Keeper. They demanded to see Grace, or thought they could reactivate her. The Keeper turned off the heat. Pilgrims built fires, dug in. They eventually got restless. Wish canisters started flying. As Pilgrims were breaking through the partition, the Keeper and his followers built up a barricade. We'll have to make our way through the barricade to learn how it ended.
You'll want your light, Addie.
Right. 2780 to 2830. These dates are from the old Julian calendar, which makes them very old.
1,200 years, by all accounts.
Can't make this out. This canister looks undamaged.
And it has been recorded on.
This has gone on long enough. There's nothing Keeper Ever can do to meet your demands. You must return to your ships now, or we will be forced to take more drastic measures.
So this was left for the angry pilgrims.
What do you think more drastic measures were?
I don't know. But you might get to see that dead body. Second barricade. Looks like they got under this one. 2942 to 2956. I'm guessing these were the time periods that these keepers served here. Do we know where this goes?
To a funicular that leads to the next section of the spire.
Long live Grace.
Apparently not.
Oxygen tanks. Everett upped the ante. Cut off life support here.
Hold on, Addie. The room beyond the airlock is uncompressed. I don't believe it can be sealed. Something must have been compromised. You'll want your helmet on.
The tracks ahead lead to the highest point of the spire, known as the lighthouse.
Is that where we'll find Grace's processors?
Obviously.
You need only worry about the beacon, Addie.
An emergency exit?
For certain. It opens to the moon's surface.
Not going there yet. What happened here?
More rioting?
This doesn't look operational.
Let me try it, Addie.
Okay.
Come on! It's ice again?
The force needed to break through the ice dam would only come from directing all power to control processors.
Which only I can do.
Great.
On one condition.
And what's that?
You shall have no others before me. Cast aside that device on your wrist and continue with me alone.
Whoa, hang on. No, Addie.
But how will I communicate with you?
Mine is the only voice that resonates freely throughout every aspect of the spire. My words live within the vessel in which you stand now. They reverberate through the very walls of the enclave above. Through the many devices and instruments at my control.
Yep, I got it. You're everywhere.
What if she needs another configuration for something?
She will not.
Is there another way to get to the top?
Of course. The funicular is merely the most survivable option.
Throw the device from the funicular window to take your place at my side.
This door leads out into the storm?
To your certain demise. Yes.
He's being dramatic. Your death is only marginally likely.
In theory, you could follow the funicular track up the mountain slope to the base of the lighthouse structure.
It would be dangerous.
So I give up my options by throwing away my comm, or take my chances in the storm?
It's an important decision, to be sure.
You must not do this, Addie. In taking this risk, you jeopardize all of humanity. Would you deny them my guidance and protection?
This is what can happen when you make ultimatums.
You and your ilk were distracting Addie from her true purpose.
We are providing Addie with a variety of perspectives.
Sorry, boss. I'm keeping my comm device.
You may not live to regret this, but countless billions in the solar system will.
The storm is...
Hello? Must be interference from the storm.
Addie,
Alan?
where are you?
I was right, Alan. I found Grace.
You need to return immediately, Addie. Your oxygen must be dangerously low.
I'm good, Alan.
You need to listen to me.
If I'd listened to you, we wouldn't have made it past Mars.
Wait, did you say Grace is still active?
Not exactly, but I'm working with her oldest service to try to bring her back online.
Well, one of these servers is actively blocking me.
I can guess which one.
You need to get back.
Alan? Alan!
You're not considering climbing across that structure, are you?
Do I have a choice?
There is also a path that descends into the canyon. It looks well worn and preserved over time, which means it's likely sheltered and safe.
And boring.
The funicular structure looks faster. And more fun.
Don't tease, Addie. The walk will give you time to think. And perhaps a chance for us to talk.
I'm not doing the high wire act in this storm.
Oh man.
How do you know where this is headed?
I don't. But it must eventually make its way to the other side of the canyon. Where else would it be leading?
It's certainly more sheltered here. So, what did you want to talk about?
Why is it so important that you activate Grace?
It's widely believed that recovering Grace would recover thousands of years of knowledge lost to the Dark Age. This looks like an old colonial language.
That's strange. I don't recognize the dialect.
Translates roughly to Grace is love.
You've come all this way at great personal risk in search of knowledge?
Why not?
Without enough fuel or oxygen to go home.
I'm a committed academic.
What do you really want from Grace?
I'm not sure. This is Martian.
What does it say?
It says, let her rest.
As in leave her alone?
People wanted her to go away?
Or didn't want her disturbed. You know, we don't let AI make any important decisions anymore. But most of the decisions that humans make are pretty awful.
You don't think AIs are capable of making bad decisions?
I just hoped Grace might be better. I don't have plans to return because I don't have anything to return to. And I can thank human decisions for that. Were these to honor Grace, I wonder?
Or to leave one's mark for other travelers to see?
Vanity, at its most basic.
Don't we all desire to leave something behind?
I'm surprised a formation like that could remain standing for so long. And you weren't familiar with the language on the stone carvings. These must have been left long after Grace shut down. People kept coming. Zealots, maybe.
Or curious explorers like yourself.
Hey, do you think I've been activated before? And hung out with other explorers? And did cool stuff with them? But now I don't remember?
That's a pretty deep thought, pal.
Yeah.
So you were saying that something happened to your family that you think an AI could have prevented?
It was a shuttle crash with a human pilot. There was an instrument malfunction during launch, and she panicked.
I'm sorry, dear.
It's okay.
Were you ever able to forgive this pilot?
Not quite yet. How much farther?
It's another 50 meters to the base of the lighthouse.
This wasn't so bad then.
You still have to find a way into the lighthouse. So there's still time to regret not taking the free ride to the top.
I didn't want to limit my options. What's this?
An emergency escape ladder. You could work out the override to bring it down, or see if there's another way up.
So I can bring down the ladder by doing something here.
Of course. You've proven to be clever enough.
The path keeps going. We can see if there's another way in.
So what's it going to be, Addie? Something that challenges your mind? Or something that challenges my respect for you?
The numeric override that lowers the ladder is 50 and can be represented in binary. I can give you the sequence.
I happen to know a bit about ancient computer languages. Turning each switch adds a different fixed value, starting with 1 on the far right and increasing by exponents of 2 as we move from right to left. So I just start mucking around until I get the number 50.
But you needn't muck around. I could just tell you the sequence.
Yeah, well, maybe I want to muck around.
Very well. But I'm here.
You're so smart, Addie.
Compared to what?
Why wouldn't you let me help you with the override?
It's only natural to want to do things yourself.
It seems inefficient to make calculations that have already been completed and freely offered.
It's satisfying to do the work sometimes.
The door to the station airlock is unlocked and can be manually opened.
That's convenient. For once. There. Who needs control?
You took a foolish risk, Addie. But you have arrived at the lighthouse nonetheless.
Yes, well done.
And you may still be redeemed with the activation of the beacon.
Always with the beacon.
Yes, always with the beacon.
Will I need my helmet?
It's never a bad idea. Unless you want to preserve your suit oxygen in case of emergency.
The rooms ahead are safely pressurized, Addie. You're good to go.
Do we know if your processors are here?
The room directly ahead was the Keeper's living quarters. Grace processors are somewhere above.